these very tragic and sickening times that we're in. I'm sure all of us are aware of the unfortunate news that transpired last week. But but these news reminds me of a very interesting Gemara that says that Haman HaRasha, he was wondering um, uh, he was wondering when is the perfect time to destroy, to annihilate. The story of of Purim. When is the perfect time to annihilate all the Jewish people in the world? So he comes up to Achashverosh one day and he says, Achashverosh, right now is the perfect time to destroy all the Jews. It's the perfect time. Achashverosh says, why now? Why is now a perfect time? And Haman said, because they're not united. When the Jewish people are not united, it's very easy to destroy us. Uh, and the other way goes as well. When the Jewish people are united, it's very difficult to destroy us. Take, for example, your fist, your hand. Yeah, whenever your hand is split apart, it's very easy to break each finger because they're very far apart from one another. But when you make a fist and all the fingers are together, they're clumped. It's very hard to break. It's very hard to injure any finger. And the same thing goes, the Gemara says, with the Jewish nation. As long as you're united, as long as we have love, as long as there's achdut, it's very hard to break us. It's very hard to destroy us. It's very hard to harm us. And now, for this past week, it's unbelievable how much unity there's been in the world, right? It's unbelievable how the soldiers are all united. Even the politics in Israel, yeah, they're putting all their ga'ava aside. They're putting all their um, uh, ego aside, and they're joining together, joining forces. And just around the world, you see beauty. Hamas, they did tremendous tragedy. They killed tremendous amount of people, children and babies, and the younger girls and the elderly people, and hundreds of are held hostage. Unbelievable. There's no forgiving for that. But how much unity they caused in Am Yisrael is unbelievable. It's beautiful to watch. We're very saddened that it had to happen through such a war, through terrorism, through sickening torture. But Jewish people are always trying to find the good in every situation. We're always trying to be optimistic and not pessimistic. And we will say that the unity that Am Yisrael is at now hasn't been this way in many many years. At least that's what that's what the world is saying. So we came together tonight to get a little chizuk and to take something away. I'll tell you, many times in history, it's whether you go in the time of the Lubavitch Rebbe, whether we go back to the time of Harav Mordechai Eliyahu, he used to be the chief rabbi of Israel. I think even before Rabbi Yosef. You go back a couple of years more behind Rav Mordechai Eliyahu in the time of the Chidah, in the time of the Chidah's father, in the time of the Arizal. Go back in history. There are many snippets, many different times where Mashiach should have came, where Mashiach actually arrived, and he was ready to reveal himself, but the Jewish people did not seize the opportunity. They did not hold on to the opportunity. Means to say, there's a very, very similar puzzle that goes on. What happens is Jewish people, they get themselves into some trouble. There's a lot of terror. There's a lot of attacks, pogroms, wars, intifadas, different things that happen. And then Mashiach is about to come. The Jewish people are united, but they just by a little bit missed the boat. I mean, he was right there. A day or two later, he was supposed to reveal himself, but missed the boat. And many Chachamim write about this. The Chidah's father said that he was supposed to come in his generation, and there was calamities, and there was destruction, there was terror, very similar to what's going on in our days. And Mashiach was supposed to come and reveal himself, but we missed it. We didn't grab onto it. We didn't hold on to it. We missed the message of what this terror was supposed to teach us, what these calamities were supposed to teach us. We missed the message. So because we missed the message, we missed Mashiach. And it happened in time of the Lubavitch Rebbe and Rav Mordechai Eliyahu. It happens in history very often where we miss the boat, and we miss the boat. So message we'd like to get across tonight is Every single person. Do we feel that we're thousands of miles away from Israel? What can we do? But in reality, shown that in Jewish history, especially in Egypt, when there were 1,000 Jews, for every 1,000 Jew that was fighting at war, there was 1,000th Jew that was sitting in the shul, in their homes, either reading Tehillim, either studying Torah, either praying, or doing any act of kindness. For every 1,000 that was at war, there was 1,000 that was doing mitzvot. And the same thing goes for us. We can't be out there with a gun and with bombs and with a shield, right? We can't be, physically fighting the war. But our job is to be behind the scenes, spiritually fighting the war. And I actually spoke to one of the soldiers, he's one of my students, that he's in the front lines in the IDF. He joined the IDF 2 years ago, and he actually got into a level of being, a commander in his group. So he said, you guys are the real soldiers. You guys are the real ones at war. We are here, we doing our part. We're shooting, we're blocking, we're throwing, we're bombing, we're destroying. But in order for us to aim and to hit the target, it all depends on your prayers. It all depends on your tehillim. It all depends on your mitzvot, in your shomer Shabbat, in your shomer in the mitzvot of tzniut. It all depends on you. It's the spirituality that will get the physicality to be successful, and it's always been that way in history. It's a known rule that in order for us to be physically successful, we need to have the spiritual part first. As long as we're spiritually successful, we will always be physically successful. So whenever we're at a physical war, it just means that spiritually we're not on the level we have to be. That's why war happens. That's why calamity happens. That's why sicknesses happen. That's why worry happens. It's because spiritually there's something wrong. Spiritually there's something off. And sometimes Hashem knocks on the door once or twice. But if he sees that we're not opening the door, what does he do? He has to shake it, make a little earthquake, get Hamas to come in and to make some rush, to make some noise and do some disgusting destruction. But we have to know the very, very, very important concept. The important concept that we have to know is there's a very big distance between us and our holy rabbis. For example, Rabbi Yosef, Zecher Tzaddik V'Kedosh L'Vracha, it was just as your time, right? It was just as your time. Rabbi Yosef, there's a very big difference, big gap between us and him, right? The level he was on, the level we're on, different world. If that's true between us and Rabbi Yosef, Zecher Tzaddik V'Kedosh L'Vracha, how much more so is it true between us and Hashem? The Chafetz Chaim said a very, very important statement. He said that one time they came to him and they said, Chafetz Chaim, will we ever understand why World War I happened? Chafetz Chaim lived after World War I. He died right before World War II, 1933. Will we ever understand why World War I happened? And the Chafetz Chaim answered, he says, no, we're not going to understand. We will never understand. And it's our job. Our job is not to understand. Right? So if a Jew wants to try to understand, Rabbi, why did all this terror happen? Why did all this destruction happen? Why did all this, all these young children, young babies that were beheaded? Why did it all happen? A person wants to know, right? They ask the Chafetz Chaim. Well, you want to know. In Olam Hazeh, not after 120. After 120, everything is going to be clear to us. We're not going to have questions. Well, everything that we wanted to know, everything that we had questions on, everything that we had doubts on, we're going to know after 120, right? They asked the Chafetz Chaim, we don't want to know after 120. We want to know in this world. Why did this happen to me? Why did that happen to me? Why did I break my leg? Why did Rosh Hashanah was like this? Why was young people like that? Why did 40 young innocent babies get beheaded? Why? Chafetz Chaim says, if you want to know why, if you bothered by why, you have to know you have no emunah. You have no faith in Hashem. Our job is not to ask why. A Jew doesn't ask why. A Jew asks, what? What can I do? They say beautifully, I just want to take out my pen to write it inside. Why in Hebrew is what? How do you say why in Hebrew? Lama. Right? Lama. Lamed, mem. Hey, lama. That's how you say why in Hebrew. They say, right, lama in Hebrew is what? Why? Lama is Gematria 75. Jacob's going to say something about him. Right? It's Gematria 75. Lama. Why? The Gematria of 75 is the same Gematria as Bitachon. What's Bitachon? Who knows how to translate Bitachon? Trust. Trust in Hashem. A person who's busy with his life asking why, it shows a lack of trust in God. What's our job as a Jew? Not to ask why, but to say ma, which means what can I do? By me asking why is this happening, does it change the situation? No. It doesn't change the situation. So what's my job? What can I do to help? What can I do in my part, right, to help better the situation? And in fact, the Gemara in Sanhedrin, page 100b, it's a beautiful Gemara. I one day want to learn it with you. The Gemara says that a person who has anxiety in his heart will eventually have anxiety in his mind. A person who has anxiety in his heart and has anxiety in his mind, you have to know that a lot of people in the world, the Gemara says, a lot of mighty people, strong people, very prestigious people, you know why they left the world so young? It's because of anxiety. It's because of worry. They put in their heart and in their mind. Anxiety does nothing good for a person. Worry does nothing good for a person. Not in his heart, not in his mind. Because it's not that why they should have died, because this is the cause of their death. It means they got so anxious and so worried, it led them to their death. Not because of this they died. This very mere. That's right. Self-consciously they kill themselves. Right? When you have anxiety, you have low self-esteem. You get to a point where you're low. Your self-esteem is very low, and when your self-esteem is very low, you think about yourself very low. Then you stop praying to Hashem because you feel like, what good is it? When you stop praying, you don't ask, then Hashem doesn't give. Remember the story I told you over Shabbat? I was one time playing ball with my daughter last week, Wednesday. She woke up early in the morning, so I took her downstairs so she doesn't wake up my other kids. So she said, Abba, let's play some ball. So I took a ball, a little basketball, foamy basketball that I have, and we start to play catch. I throw to her, she throws to me. Right, she's 4 years old. How does a 4-year-old play? How does a 4-year-old play catch? They throw, but how do they catch? Like this. Oh, they keep it right, exactly. They keep their hands up wide, right? They have their hands out for a long time. And they're like, okay, Abba, throw. And you're measuring based on how wide their hands are, how to throw the ball. Us, we can have our hands down, you can throw, and that second we can catch it because we have that reflex. We gain that reflex. But kids, they don't have that reflex. So for a whole minute, they're holding their hands. Okay, Abba, throw, right? They're getting ready. So we're playing like this. I'm throwing the ball to her. She's throwing the ball to me. And then at a point, I kept my hands down. She had the ball in her hands. And she says, okay, Abba, I'm going to throw. I said, okay, throw. My hands are down. I said, okay, throw. She said, I can't throw. I said, why not? She said, because your hands are not out. Your hands are not out. And I'm like, wow, what a mess. It was 6 a.m. I ran upstairs. I woke up my wife. I said, I need to tell you something. She said, why are you waking me up 6 a.m? Why are you up 6 a.m? I said, I want to tell you a beautiful lesson I gained for life. I said, look, she didn't throw the ball to me because my hands were not out. She says, Abba, I can't throw the ball because your hands are not out. When you open your hands, I can throw the ball. I said, wow, Hashem is. How does it relate to us and Hashem? Hashem says, look, I want to give you the ball in our sense is blessing. I want to give you so much. I want to give you more than what you want. I want to give you, Jacob, Holy Tzaddik, he sent me a message, a screenshot. I'm not going to say too much detail, but a conversation he had with someone. Could be this person is in the room. I don't know. Right? I don't know the name of the, right? He was telling this person how Hashem wants to give you so much blessing. You just got to do your part. Just open your hands. Just open up a little. Yeah? And he's going to give it to you. That's the lesson I gained playing ball with my daughter. She said, Abba, open your hands. So I can throw you the ball. The ball is the blessing. Hashem is saying the same thing. Ariel, open your hands. Isaac, open your hands. Just open to Hashem. He's going to throw the blessing. Our job is to open. Our job is not to have this anxiety, not to have this worry, because the Gemara says worry and anxiety took a lot of very prestigious, important people from the world. So our job here with the situation what's going on in Israel, in America, in our own personal life, worrying, no good comes from worrying. No positive thing comes from worrying. Only negativity. Only, you want to know, What's the biggest thing that can disconnect you between you and Hashem? The biggest thing is not different sins. It's not dressing, not tsanua. It's not breaking Shabbat, not keeping kosher. What's the biggest thing that can separate you and Hashem? Is having anxiety. When you have anxiety, you show Hashem you don't run the show. You don't run the show. When Shara Bitachon says when Hashem feels that he doesn't run the show, when you make him feel that he doesn't run the show, what does Hashem do? Okay, if I don't run the show, so let this or that person, whoever it is you believe in, let them run the show for you. No one's running the show. And when no one's running the show, you are alone. And when you are alone, self-destruction. Right? So our job now is only positivity. Only positivity. Only good, they call it in English, good vibes. Yeah, in slang, good vibes, positive vibes, right? It's good word. Good vibes, positive vibes. That's our job. That's number one. Number two, the Chavetz Chaim says something very powerful. That God forbid a person should ever think that Hashem can do bad. Nothing bad comes from Hashem. Rabbi, what do you mean? 40 babies were beheaded and they were burned. Nothing bad comes from Hashem. It's not possible. We might not see it. Our scope is very small. We don't see it. But nothing bad comes from Hashem. It's not possible. It's never going to be there. I'll give you an example. You ready? Simchat Torah. What do we do with the Torah? We danced with the Torah. Very good. How many hakafot did we do with the Torah on Simchat Torah? 7. Beautiful. 7 hakafot. Every hakafah, we went around and we sang the different songs. Imagine I come, you guys are in the shul, you guys are downstairs, or you ladies are upstairs watching the men do their thing. Imagine I come into shul and I say, after the fifth hakafah, I come to shul, not even a second that I'm there. I said, guys, let's sing the song David, the Melech Yisrael. Right away. I don't even say hi to Noah. I just come in, barge in, and I say, Rabbi Isai, let's sing fifth hakafah. David, Melech Yisrael. And what do you tell me? Rabbi, we just sang that song. That was the 4th song that we sang. We're in the 5th hakafah. I said, oh yeah, okay, no problem. Let's sing Am Yisrael. Chai. He said, Rabbi, no, we sang in the third hakafah, we sang that song. And I said, fine, no problem. Hashem Melech. He said, Rabbi, we sang it in the second one. Torah. Rabbi, we sang the first one. Me that came late, can I sit there and start calling shots? No, why? Why can't I call my shots? Because I came late. I missed the first 4. You're up to the 5th, right? I came late. So I can't sit there and call shots. Meaning, I don't know what happened before. So because I don't know what happened before, I'm making so many mistakes, right? I made 4 mistakes. I said, let's sing this song, that song, but you guys are telling me, what? Rabbi, we sang all those songs. Why don't they know? Because I was not there. I was late. So Hashem says, look, Habibi, you came into the world what year? 2000, 2001, 2002, 1996 for myself, right? You came into the show a couple of thousand years later, 2,000 years later. I've been running the world from day 1. You can't come inside in the middle of the show and start calling the shots. And start asking, why shouldn't this happen? Why does that happen? You're so cruel. 40 babies, elderly, young adults, young women. Oh, 1 second, Hashem is saying, 1 second. You came in the middle of the show. You don't know how I governed the show from day 1. If you knew how I governed the show from day 1, you would understand my plan and you would see, wow, this makes sense. And you won't have no questions. Knowing this fact, Jacob, that we came in the middle of the show. The world was created 5,784 years ago. We came at year, whatever it is, right? Whatever you're in the middle, let's say in the middle. And we sit and we ask and we wonder why, and we complain. Hashem is saying, 1 second. If you would have just came a little earlier, you would understand why I'm doing this and why I'm doing that and why this happened here and this happened there, right? So that's point number 2, is when we have this feeling and this urge of asking why, and have this urge of saying this doesn't make sense and Hashem is so cruel, let's stop and say, 1 second, but I came in the middle of the show, right? It's like you're going in the middle of the movies. I'm not advertising to watch movies, but just an example, if you watch movies before, if you come in the middle of the movie and you see one guy kill the other guy, right away you say, this is a good guy, this is a bad guy. The one that's killing is a bad guy. The one that's dying is a good guy. And I can tell you 1 second, you came in the middle, but you don't know what happened before. This guy that's shooting, this guy, he killed his daughter. So he's taking revenge. So in reality, he's the good guy. It's killing the bad guy because he killed his daughter 20 minutes ago. But why don't you know that? You came in the middle of the movie. You came late. So for you, the whole script is different. He's bad. He's good. No. 1 second. It's the complete opposite. He's the good one, and he's the bad one. But you came late, so you don't know. So Hashem is saying the same thing. What's going on in Israel? You might think, that's horrific. Hashem, where is your mercy? Chavetz Chaim is saying, no, Hashem is the most mercifulest thing in the world. And we say, Harachaman. What is Harachaman? The merciful one. In Birkat Hamazon, what do we say? Harachaman yishbach kisei avodo. Harachaman yishamayim va'aretz. Right? Harachaman. What is Harachaman mean? He's not merciful. He's the merciful one. When you add the to a word, what does it mean? He owns mercy. You can be mercy, Ariel. You can have mercy on your friend. You can have mercy on me. You can have mercy at a brother or your sister, if you have a sister. But who created the concept of mercy? Hashem, Harachaman. He's not Rachaman. He's Harachaman, the merciful. The most merciful one in the world is who? Is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the next time we want to think, Hashem, you're so bad, Hashem, you're so evil, Hashem, you're so not nice, chas v'shalom. We just don't know. We came in the middle of the movie. We don't know. We don't see the bigger picture. In reality, it's to our limited knowledge, things seem bad, things seem horrific, things seem bad. But in reality, it's all for good. And Hashem, only good can come out of it. And you will see, like we said in the beginning, the world is so united. So many people are davening with minyanim now. So many people are putting on tefillin now. So many people are wearing tzitzit now. So many people are finishing books of Tehillim. I know so many girls that took upon themselves. It's new. Did you guys see those videos? They were putting around how the girls were ripping the nuts nude clothes. Israel? Which goy nation will do that? Which goy nation for the betterment of the world is going to do such a thing? No such thing. Only Hashem's children. Only Hashem's children. You know why? You know why we're like that? You know why we're so like softy? Because Hashem is that way. You know why we're so merciful? Because Hashem is that way. We take after our Father. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We are His children. We have His DNA. We have His blood. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's. Matter of fact, what does Hashem say in Parashat Bereshit? B'tzelem Elokim, in the image of God did He create me and you. It means, Ariel, you know what you have? You look like God. You look like, that's what the Torah said last week. B'tzelem Elokim, Jacob. Hashem said, I created you in my image. It's not like your father and mother, you look like your father. You look like your mommy. Character tvoi at papi. Your character traits are from your father. No, put that on the side. B'tzelem Elokim, in the image of God, each Jew was created, man and woman. That's why we're so merciful. That's why we're so soft. That's why we're so, you can bully us around. We're a very merciful nation because we take it from our Father Hashem, because He's also merciful. He's also soft. He's also forgiving. He gives us so many chances, so many. He just wants us to do what? Open our hands so you can throw the ball. He wants to throw so many balls at us, so many brachot, so many. He just says, just open your hands to me. That's it. That's all. That's all I want. Do a little bit. Just move a little bit for me. What does the Pirkei Avot say? Tiftach, open for me a hole the size of a needle. Adam, how big is a needle? A bobby pin, how big? How big is a bobby pin needle? You can't see it. If I puncture in my suit, I'm not going to be able to see it, right? You're not going to take a white, nice Hugo Boss shirt. Take a nice white Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, whatever you guys wear, undershirt, and put the little hole. Can you see this whole bobby pin hole? You're not going to see it. Hashem says, just open for me a hole as big as a bobby pin. What's the ending of the sentence? And I'll open for you a hole as big as a wedding hall. Who's been to Alagio? It's pretty big, no? It's huge. Huge. How many people can fit there? Hashem is saying, open for me a hole as small as a bobby pin. Small. Something extra. And I'll open for you a hall as big as Elijah. It doesn't say Elijah, I'm adding that. But for you to understand how Hashem is just waiting for us. And all this is just a little wake-up call. When you're driving in a car, yeah? You're driving in a nice Nissan Altima SR, nice rims, yeah? Nice leather seats. And if you're by the green light, and now there's a green light, what do you have to do? To go. Well, if you don't go, what's going to happen? Who's going to honk? The guy in the back, yeah? Who's going to honk? Okay, what's the honk for? What's the purpose of the honk? Move! Signaling to you to move, yes? Let's say he honks a second time and you still don't move. What's going to happen the third time? Is the honk is going to be the same or it's going to get louder? It's going to get louder. Oh, Ariel, good. And now if he honks the third time for a very long time, and you're still there in your Nissan Altima, sitting nicely with heated seats, heated steering wheel, and you're relaxing. What's going to happen? He's going to honk. He's going to get out of the car. He's going to start knocking on your window, and you're going to say, why are you knocking on my nice new Nissan Altima? You're going to come out, and what's going to happen? A whole fight. Road rage. Hashem works the same. Hashem gives us first honk. Beep. Move. He's trying to get our attention. Forgive me. Get our attention. 1 beep, 2 beeps, 3 beeps, 4 beeps, to the point where he has to come out. And he has to say what? No, come out, go. Let's go. This is all it is. It is a nice small wake-up call. But look what happened to the world. The world is so united. The world is doing so many mitzvot. Thousands of hundreds of food, tzitziot, filling is being sent to Israel. It's unbelievable. The world is so united. And it's amazing. That's what Hashem wants. And Haman said, the way to destroy the Jewish nation is when they're not united. He told Ahasuerus this. The Gemara says in Masechet Megillah, is when they're not united. What did Haman do? Little did he know, he caused all of Jewish people to be united. And what happened to him? Destroy them. Haman didn't want to just kill the Jewish people in his country, in Iran, in Paras. No. He wanted to destroy Jewish people all over the world. Everywhere. Hitler, he wanted to kill the Jews in Europe, in Germany, right, Poland, etc. That's it. He had no intentions to really kill. I guess, at least we don't know, to kill Jews in Israel, Jews in the United States. No. He wanted just to kill the people that he was able to control. Finished. Haman wanted to kill Jewish people around the world, everywhere. And he said, you know what's their weakness? When they're not united. In our day and age, you know what that means, Jacob? Is social media. How we defame each other on social media. How we speak Lashon Hara about each other. How we post things that are not nice on Snapchat. Oh, Rabbi, it goes away after 30 seconds, though. Look, Rabbi, not so many people saw, Rabbi. Embarrassment and this and that and nicknames and funny posts. And the Gemara says if a person gives another person a nickname that he doesn't like, he loses his share in the world to come. Black and white. Black and white, Masechet Sanhedrin. Even rabbis are humans. And you have to know, the Gemara in Brachot says, Daf Yud Zayin, I think, or Daf Yud Het. The Gemara in Brachot says, when you see a Talmid Chacham do an Averah, you have to believe that he did Tshuva after it. You have to believe. Because if you see a rabbi or anyone, a Talmid Chacham that did something wrong, you have to know that he knew what he did, he regrets what he did, and he's doing Tshuva. He's also human. Parsha Noach, it says Hamas 3 times. All of Torah, it says Hamas 3 times. Hamas means evil, thievery, and killing. This is what they do. Hamas, why is there such a quality in Hamas? It's because they're not happy within themselves. When a person, Joshua, is not happy within himself, he does very bad things. Is that on Torah? Hamas 3 times it says in the Torah in 3 different parashiyot. Yeah. Hamas means that a person is not happy within himself. That's what it means. You have to understand. When you're not happy, you want to make other people not happy. They asked the Chavetz Chaim after World War I. Listen to what the Chavetz Chaim said after World War I. The Chavetz Chaim said after World War I, he said the real war is starting now. Could you imagine what he said? Let's understand what he said again. After World War I was over, World War I, tons of people died. World War. Chavetz Chaim said, the war begins now. What does that mean? Listen very carefully, Rabbi Yitzchak. After such a war, when your military was not able to help you, yeah? When your government was not able to help you, what kind of questions you start to ask?
Why am I here?
Who can help me? Military cannot help me. Government cannot help me. FBI, NYPD, my neighborhood, no one can help me. World War One. Everything was destroyed. Everyone was killed. So who can help me? And when you have doubt in your government, and you also have doubt in Hashem, if Hashem can make such a war, where is Hashem? Chafetz Chaim says the real war begins after the war. Why? Because the real war is not when you have with people. The real war is when you have with Hashem. When you lose faith in God, then you have doubt in Hashem. Where was Hashem? Like the Holocaust, yeah? Many people came out of the Holocaust. We cannot blame them, and I'm not blaming them. Many people said, where is God? After World War I, people came to Chafetz Chaim and said, where is Hashem? Chafetz Chaim says, this is the real war. This is the real war. The real, yeah. That's what he answered them. The real war starts now. What does that mean? You just want to, so obviously he comforted them. You can't blame them, and we're not blaming them, but listen to what he's trying to say. The real war is with Hashem. When you don't have faith in God, when you doubt God, that's war. When you're warring with another man, with Hamas, and you're shooting back and forth, that's not war. That's not war. It's a wake-up call. Real war is with Hashem. That's why we have war down here. It's a wake-up call. In the dictionary, this is war. In dictionary. But the real war is with who? Is with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Is with Hashem. So that's why the lesson we have to learn from here is not to doubt God. It's not to ask why. It's to say what. What can I do? Learning all of this, hearing all these news, what can I do thousands of miles away? Is I open a little hole for Hashem. As I open my hands. That's what I can do, because we are the real soldiers. Just like a soldier in the army, Joshua. Jeremy, yeah? You know Jeremy. Jeremy in the army, can he blink? If he blinks too long, you know what can happen? He can miss a bullet. He can miss a bomb. Can he take a cat nap if he wants? He's in front line, in the battlefield. Can he say, you know what, let me take a quick snack? Some chocolate chip rice cakes? Can he do that? He's full. He has to be full guard. He has to be awake. A soldier in the army has to be fully awake. He has to be on alert. All 20 days. According to halakha, they don't even have to keep Shabbat. That's what we have to keep Shabbat for them. Rabbi say, we keep Shabbat for them. If they can't put on tefillin because they're at war, we put on tefillin for them. They can daven in minyan, we daven for them. They can't learn Torah, we learn for them. They can't pray Tehillim, we pray Tehillim for them. We do for them. That's the real war. That's what Jeremy told me when I was on the phone with him. He said, you guys are the real soldiers. You hear Rabbi say? Who's the real soldier, Jacob? We are the real soldiers. We are the real soldiers in this army. Right? We do what they can't do. What we do, the more we exactly. You hear Isaac 24/7. These soldiers cannot blink. They cannot take a nap. They're on full go, full green. We, the spiritual soldiers, also have to be full force. It's not the time, Jacob, to take breaks. It's not the time to slack off. It's not the time to take a vacation. You know what? I want to take a break in my learning. I want to take a break in my tzitzit. I want to take a break in my mitzvot. Now is not the time. Just like this soldier in the army cannot take a break, he can't. If he's going to miss a bonfire, he's going to miss a bomb, he's going to miss a bullet, that he's done. He's always on alert. We have to be always on alert. We have to smell the Yetzer Hara coming to us. Right? When we have desires on the phone to watch things we're not supposed to watch, to do things, we have to smell it. We have to, just like they smell Hamas, we have to smell the Yetzer Hara coming, trying to attack us. Smell it coming and say, you know what, for Israel. I want to finish with this. Listen to what he says. One second, Joshua. The prophets, they compare us. The prophets, they compare us to a certain insect. Jacob, if you were to compare the Jewish people to a certain animal, to a certain insect, what would it be? Lion. I would say the same thing. A lion. Gibor Kari. Oh, listen to this, Rabbi Isa. It says a lot on it, that's true. Listen to this, Rabbi Isa. Very, very, very powerful message. The prophet, you know what insect, not even an animal, insect. You know what insect it compares us to? Tola'at. A worm. Rabbi said, what? Ariel, imagine comparing a Jew to a worm. That's insulting, no? Adam, insulting. How can you compare the Jewish nation, the chosen nation, the firstborn of Hashem, to a worm? Oh, that's one answer. Humility. We're King David called himself a worm. Yaakov Avinu called himself a worm. We're like worms. But do you know why we're compared to a worm? It's for a different reason. The reason why we're compared to a worm is because before you step on a worm, look at it. Look how it moves from place to place. If you ever see a worm in the ceiling, look how it moves from one place to another place, from a low place to a high place. Look how it gets from place A to place B. You know how? It doesn't have legs. It doesn't have hands. It uses his mouth, his teeth. He takes his teeth, his mouth, and he goes from a low place to a high place, not with his hands and feet, because he doesn't have any, with his mouth. The reason why the prophets compared us to a worm, because our strength, Ariel, is in our mouth, is in our praying, is in our minyan praying, is in our Tehillim reading, is in our positive speech about you, Jonathan, positive speech. I'm going to do good. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to pass. I'm going to get a good mark. I'm going to get accepted. I'm going to win. Positive speech. Our prophets say that our power is in our mouth. Yitzchak Avinu told Yaakov, Hakol kol Yaakov, as long as you, the Jewish nation, you're not using your mouth, you have to know the other nations are going to use their sword. But as long as you're using your mouth for proper things, don't speak slander, you don't speak gossip, you don't talk behind other people's back and then greet them with a smile and a hug. As long as you use your mouth for good things in prayer, and you come to daven and you try to pray 3 times a day, or at least 1 time with a minyan, at least you try, then you know what happens? Then the hands of the other nations, the hands of Esav, they have no strength. They have no power. Yitzchak Avinu told Esav, your power is in your mouth. We are Jewish people compared to a worm, because a worm gets from high place to a low place to a high place, rather. He is able to succeed and he's able to accomplish and get to his goal. The worm is through his mouth. So to a Jew. When you're in trouble, where do you go? I want to tell you an interesting Mishnah. With this, we'll finish. Listen to this Mishnah. Unbelievable. The Gemara wants to know. You're going to like this a lot. Listen to this topic. The Gemara wants to know, Moshe, Lishma. The Gemara wants to know. How do you know whether there are certain animals that can live in water and in the sea and in land, right? Certain animals. How do you see creatures and there's land creatures? If you want to take an animal that's living here and living there, but if you have to give him one identity, how can you determine whether he's a sea creature or a land creature? Based on what? Where he adapts better. Where he lives longer. Where he adapts better. What do you say? Jacob, you hear the question? Listen to this question. Let me close that door.
Yeah, you can answer. Where he's higher on the food chain.
When he's higher on the food chain. Listen to this beautiful question. If you have animals that live in the sea and live in land, right? If you had to determine whether he's a land creature or a sea creature, I said it on Shabbat, right? Whether he's a land creature or a sea creature. If you had to determine whether he's this or that, right? How can you determine? Certain fish, certain dolphins, they can be sea lions, right? Certain turtles, starfish. They can be here and they can be there. But to put on paper whether he's a sea creature or a land creature, how do you determine it? So Moshe said where he lives in longer. If he lives in the water longer, then he's a sea creature. If he lives on land longer, then he's a land creature. Jonathan said similar thing, where he adapts more. You know what the Mishnah says? You know how you determine where this animal is? Based on what? Based on where he runs to when he's in danger. You hear this, Adam? So it means to say, if I take a fish, right? Or a jellyfish, or a fish, or a turtle, and I'm going with a hook to catch him, and he sees me, and he's running away. While he's in terror, if he's in fear, where he runs to, you can tell what type of creature he is.
He runs to the water.
If he runs to water, he's a sea creature. If he runs to land, he's a land creature. So they say by a sea lion, you know those sea lions that you have in the aquarium show? They did a test on a sea lion. And the Mishnah says, sea lion, He's a land creature. You know why? It's because when you attack him, you know where he runs to? To the land. Says the Mishnah, from here you can learn. Oh, but it's determined based on what? Where he, because why comfortable? Because he's running to a place where he's when you get scared, where you run to your Abba, your mommy. Because that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. You run to Abba and mommy because that's what you, when you're scared. You hold on to the things you love most, your parents. When my daughter's scared, she doesn't run to a teddy bear. As much as she loves her teddy bear, her stuffed animal, she runs to me and my wife. We're the most dearest things to her. So the Mishnah says the same thing as with us and Hashem. You know how you know a Jew is a Hashem Jew? You know how you know a Jew is a Hashem Jew? Based on what he runs to when he's in trouble. Wow, Ariel, shots fired. Tonight, Rabbi brought the bullets and he clocked the gun and he shooting missiles. When the Jewish people, or you know what? Not even a Jewish nation as a whole. When you are in trouble, when you are scared, when you hear bad news, what do you run to? You run to Tehillim, to prayer, to shul, to the rabbi, to the shiur, or do you run to the doctor first? Not saying you don't have to go to the doctor. You go to the doctor. But who do you run to first? And based on who you run to first, that's who you are. The sea lion, he's a land creature, but he lives majority, like Jacob said, in the sea. But he runs to the land because that's where that's where he's more comfortable when he's terrorized. So to the Jewish nation, when we hear this tragedy, what do we run to? You run to, you know what? I'm going to accept upon myself this mitzvah. I'm going to put on tefillin. I'm going to dress modestly. I'm going to read Tehillim. I'm going to not speak Lashon Hara. I'm going to learn more Torah. I'm going to wear tzitzit. Whatever it is. Hashem says, wow, look at my nation. They're not running to the army right away. They're running to Hashem first. Then they're running to the army. That's how I know they're the nation of Hashem. That's how I know they're the nation of Hashem. Here at Son Rabbi Yitzchak, we should ultimately be the nation of Hashem. And with the help of this shiur and this chizuk that we're going to get, that we should walk out of here better people, better guys and better girls. And we should walk out of here opening up, figuring out what we can do in our life to open up a little pot, little pin, little hole in the pin for Hashem, for our brothers in Israel, for ourselves, because we're also, hopefully we should be safe. And with the help of the shiur, all the Hasidim should come back home. All the people need a proper burial. They should have a proper burial. No one should ever anymore. The Jewish people should be safe and they should be healthy. No, not even a scratch should be on us.
What happens to those people that
Baruch Hashem, there's many people voluntarily from America, all over the world, flying out just to bury them, catch them and bury them and take them and give them proper burial. No, they for sure. Everyone that died in this, they all died al Kiddush Hashem. They're gonna reach the highest level of heaven.
That's what I said, but what if they're a terrible person?
Doesn't matter. You died because you're a Jew. You died because you're a Jew. Why you were an atheist? We have to ask why. Did you do it purposely? Maybe when I brought up, maybe the community, maybe your parents. There's a lot. We don't know. I don't think. Everyone. Why? Atheists are atheists. It's not for us to ask and why. We don't know why. Again, we don't know why. Why? All we know is they all died because they were Jews. And when you die because you're a Jew, it's a very high level. It's a very high level. But our job is to live for these people that are not living anymore. We have to live for them. Now, what does living mean? Spirituality. Gain a little more in spirituality. Yes, Ariel? Yes, Adam? A little more. Open up a pinhole. I'll open you up a hole for you the size of a lajee. As long as you open your hands, I can throw the ball in the court. But if you don't open your hands, Abba, I can't throw the ball because your hands are not open. Here at Son, that you should all be healthy, all be happy, all be safe. Everyone that needs a refuah, shema, thank you so much for joining. Baruch Le'olam. Amen. Amen.